Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 6. We head to Monte Carlo for round number 12 for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's been on the F1 calendar since the very beginning, back in 1950. It's known for its glitz and its glamour, and it's widely considered to be one of the most important races in motorsport. Very prestigious as well. It's one of the Triple Crown races, which a lot of drivers definitely want to win, along with Le Mans and the Indy 500. It requires so much precision to track. The drivers should be in for a challenge tonight. We'll look at the track. One of the shortest on the calendar, 3.3 kilometers long with 19 turns, 7 to the left and 12 to the right, with only one DRS straight towards the start-finish straight. This is going to make it a bit more challenging for the driver, as track extending and for the most part corner cutting isn't really an option here. So it's going to really take skill alone tonight. Now, the highest compounder tyres are going to be brought to the track tonight. The C5s, which are the softs, medium C4s, and hards, the C3s. To be honest, no matter what tyre you go on, it's going to last quite a bit of time. The softs last 13 laps, the mediums last 29 laps, and the hards can really last most of the race. It's 39 laps, with the hards lasting 35 laps. And there's also the intermediates and the full wet should we require them. Now, the difference about tonight is we are going to be at night time. The second night race in a row that we're going to experience today, and it's going to make the liveries quite nice actually, and the racing even more exciting. I can tell you that. I've been looking forward to this race for the whole season. Anyway, without further ado, let's go through the drivers' standings. Mata is still leading the way with 210 points. Carl in second with 178. Third is Pete with 124. Fourth is Brando with 107. Fifth is Red Matt with 97. Sixth is Ryan Bear with 89. We've got Acorn in 8th with 63. Glock in 9th on 60 points. 10th is M. Ryan with 57. 11th is Iceman with 48, joint with Risky. Jamie in 13th on 45. Yuri is 14th with 39. Ahmed is 15th with 38. I believe Ahmed is not here tonight though. But he's still 15th anyway in the standings. Tony is 16th with 33. 17th is New Garden with 25. 18th is Niels with 24. 19th is Kev with 21. 20th is Lee with 18. And 21st and last place is Logan with 10 points. Looking at the constructors' standings, we got Yellow in first with 354. Second is Green with 316. Blue is third with 296. Fourth is Pink with 267. And fifth is Red with 173. And for those of you that are wondering how the teams work around here, basically there's 20 drivers, 4 drivers in each team, and there's 5 different teams. So there you go. So they'll be scoring points, and their liveries are based on those particular team colours. And it's going to look very, very spectacular here today. And do not forget, one-shot qualifying today. And it's going to be, I think qualifying is going to be probably the most important of the season, I would say. Because, I mean, overtaking is quite difficult, really. If you qualify yourself on pole position, and if you have good pace, you're really going to probably stay there for the majority of the race. But if you have someone behind you that's on even pace as well, then it could be a little bit more challenging, but we will have to wait and see, of course. So we have got 3 people on the 2-stop strategy. I think it's 3 people on the 2-stop strategy today, which is Red Matt, Glock, and Matt. Glock did very well with taking another win last week. Can he make it another win this week in Monaco? We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, you've had enough of me showing you the standings. Let's get to the racetrack. And here we are in Monaco. Nice. It's very, very dark at the moment. No signs of rain as of yet. So it's going to be looking like a dry qualifying session. I don't usually like to check the weather, so I'm not going to be looking at the chats until the end of the race. But we shall have to wait and see. Of course, the drivers will be getting their setups on. They have a minute to do so as well. And we've seen many surprises back in the day when the Monaco Grand Prix took place in 1996. We saw a lot, basically a leader's curse, as it were. And we saw Olivier Panis actually take his first and only race win around Monaco from 14th on the grid. But that was really, really good for him, to be honest. And we could see a surprise winner here today. You never know. But in the race later, I believe he actually DNF'd as well. So A shame for Panis as well. And Daniel Ricciardo actually scored his first pole position back in 2016. But the race was very, very interesting. It was a wet to dry race with both Rick and Hamilton risking it staying on the full wet and waiting to go on the slick tyres. And Hamilton won because the Red Bull team didn't have the tyres ready for Ricciardo, the dry tyres. So, you know, there was lots of other interesting battles, which I'll talk a little bit about later on as the drivers are getting ready. So, I forgot who I haven't went on board with this season. So let's go on board with Kyle as we make our way past Sandoval. Hopefully no heroics into Sandoval today, but it's looking quite tidy from Kyle so far as you head towards past Casino Square and then heading towards the Mirabel section of turn 7. You got to keep it very, very tight through here. Most drivers will be keeping it full lock as you head towards Portier, heading in towards turn 8 and now heading towards the tunnel. Now plenty of power will be used here today as I get my telemetry up. There we go, just so I get a good idea. Heading towards second gear, a very common place I would say to invalidate their lap after the Nouvelle chicane. Heading towards the back, a high speed and tight left-hander around here. Going towards turn 13 to 16, the swimming pool section. Don't touch the curb too much. You're going to be heading towards Raskas now. Very, very tight, but make sure that you do not hit the wall because it could end your race. Heading towards turn 19, the final corner. What's it going to be for Kyle? It is P3, and on pole position, it's Iceman. So, very, very tight against, well, for the front lot. I think we've seen quite a few invalidations, which I was quite shocked about. I thought we were going to see less invalidations here, but I was wrong. So, here we go. So, Iceman's on pole by 2 tenths over Glock with a 109.422. Iceman's on the one stop, though, so he could be the early favourite. Like I said, qualifying is important. Glock is in second. Carl is in third position. Brandon's in fourth. Pete in fifth. Matter in sixth. Risky in seventh. Niels is in eighth. Kev is in ninth. And Yuri rounds up your top 10. And the people who have free choice of tyres is Ryan, Newgarden, Gavin, Acorn and Ryan Berry. They set valid laps with Tony and Red Matt. Unfortunately, getting a DSQ and invalidation. So Red Matt is going to be doing a last 2 challenge. But knowing Monaco, safety cars is quite common around here. So don't be surprised to see them today. Only one person was on the mediums and no rain, which I think for the drivers will be a relief. But you never know what the conditions could throw because we've seen wets to dries around here. We've seen dries to wet around here. So anything can happen. And to be honest, like I said, it's going to be about pace because usually potentially being on the hards may not be a bad move because there was someone that was on fresher tyres trying to catch someone for the lead. And even though Senna tyres was way older, Mansell couldn't find a way past. And that was in 1992. I think it was Mansell's championship winning year back then as well. And Senna was, I think, still in the McLaren back in those days, but I'm not sure. Ayrton Senna actually won the most around here, making him the king of Monaco. 6 wins and 4 poles to his name as we're waiting for all the drivers. Just look at the liveries. All in one. It looks pretty amazing, to tell you the truth. I really like it. These liveries in, especially Iceman's actually. It looks very, very gold. I think the yellow liveries, are going to stand out, and maybe the blue ones, but we'll find out anyway. So, as Yuri has left the session, that's not good. But anyway, looking at tyres, so we got outside the top 10, we have got as follows on the tyres. So let me just go to outside the top 10. So we go. We've got Ryan on the mediums. We've got Newgarden on the mediums as well. We have got Gavin on the mediums, Acorn on the mediums, and they just got disqualified. Ryan Berry is on the hards, Tony is on the softs, and Red Matt's on the softs. Now, I understand why Red Matt is on the softs because he's doing the 2-stop, but I don't know why Tony is. Maybe Tony thinks that everyone else is going to probably crash around him and maybe he can climb his way through the field that way. I think he may be very, very confident with his pace, but we'll just have to find out as the race goes on. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, who you think is going to be winning this race. I would say, I don't know, because Glock's on the 2-stop as well. It's a bit tough. Brandon's in 4th too. I usually when I make predictions, they usually go off a minute, and people always never let me keep that. Let me leave my mind, basically. Well, I was trying to get my words out. I do apologise, but so I'm gonna say I'm gonna either go for Iceman or Brandon, but I don't know. But Carl looks very good around here as well, because the run to turn 1 is very crucial. You know what? I'm not going to get predictions, but I want you guys to predict in the chat. 39 laps ahead of us. Like I said, it is quite a short track, which means it's 39 laps in a 50% race. So, we are about to get started. And here we go then. The 5 red lights about to come up on your screens right now. Here they come. We are under the lights in Monaco. And it is lights out and away we go. Iceman's got a very good start. So has Glock as well. Glock's got a brilliant start. He actually took the lead from Iceman going into turn 1, I think. Yes, he has. As everyone makes it through Sandoval unscathed, I think, at this moment in time. Brandon's made his way up into P3, I believe, as well. Actually, no, not P3, P4. He stays P4. Unfortunately, we are getting a timing glitch as well, heading towards Mirabeau. Now, as well, these tight little chicanes and hairpins coming up now. They seem to be all right so far, but the smallest mistake could cost you. And don't forget, the top 12 do score points. So all it would take is quite a few retirements, and then you'll definitely be scoring points there too. Not many overtakes at this moment in time, but still a lot of work to do. As we can see, Tony right on the back of Red Matt. Red Matt's had a good start actually as well. All the way up into 14th position. And to be honest, he said he wasn't expecting to do a last 2 challenge, but there he is in the pink car. But, you know, he's got plenty of wins this season. He's looking to add another one as Red Matt goes into the pit lane, I believe. If he's either a strategy call or he's got front wing damage. I think 3 people will have to wait and see. It is a strategy call for Red Matt. No damage there, so I wonder if it will pay off. He's probably predicting an early safety car, so that may help him in some way, because other people probably will have to pit. But so far, everyone is good. Not sure about the other people. Maybe Matter has probably done the same thing. Or they may have got damage, I'm not entirely sure. Let me just look at the pit stops to see what the other 2 did. Gavin was the only ones who have pitted to have got front wing damage. Everybody else who's pitted so far was for strategic purposes. So Glock is already pulling away ever so slightly. 8/10 is the gap at the moment. Carl is about 9/10 behind Iceman, and they're pulling away as Pete has already got front wing damage already as he bins it in the wall near Raskas, and he comes in, which is fair enough. So that will promote Brandon back up into 4th position. And we got Risky in the pit as well. I believe that is front wing damage. Yes, it is. So I wonder how many pit stops we're going to see today. Who is going to make the most pit stops, I wonder. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least, but there's only one way to find out who's gonna make the most pit stops. You have to stay tuned to the rest of this race, because anything can happen. Due to it being night time, it's gonna be much colder track temperatures, so in the formation lap, I hope people were warming up their tyres to the best of their ability. Now we've got Acorn right on the back of Newgarden. Probably one of the only overtaking opportunities around here, maybe potentially, is past the tunnel. Can he make a move around the inside? He's a little bit too further back to possibly take advantage of Newgarden. So maybe in the next lap or maybe the next few laps as well, they're both on the same tyres too. So they're on an even playing field. Ryan Berry's on the hards though. He's dropped a little bit. He's last out of the ones who's still yet to pit yet, as Niels is in the pits as well. Has he got damage as well? Yes, he has. The ones who have not pitted yet may be an advantage here, especially if they're doing one stop. So I believe it is the top 9 who have not pitted yet. So if they keep it on the road, they could be on for some good points. I can tell you that. Red Matt set the fastest lap so far. The top 4 are just running away with it at the moment. Kev actually, biggest surprise so far. Flown under the radar so far this race on lap 4, but he's keeping it clean. And sometimes in Monaco, it's not really about pace. It's about keeping it penalty free and not hit the walls or get any damage. So Kev is ticking all those boxes so far. I think he will have the pace very, very soon. There's some times where you have got to keep it a little bit cautious. To be honest, that's why Monaco is so rewarding if you get a good result around it. I think on the last game in F1 2019, I got P11. And on this game, the last race I did around there, I got a P12 or 11. I can't remember, but I always tend to finish in the top 12 around here, and that's because other people like make mistakes or something, and I just keep it clean. So, but even though I always tend to pick up damage, but usually that doesn't affect my pit stops, I still end up making at least only 1 or 2 planned stops, which is what most people do anyway. So for me, it was probably part of my plan anyway. You can see Iceman struggling a little bit as Carl is catching. So I wonder if Iceman has picked up damage, or I wonder if Carl is even quicker on these soft tyres. So we will see then. It may come down to the straight line speed, but this track definitely, you got to balance. It's basically not many straights. Well, there is straight in turn 1 and obviously the tunnel, but you got to really have, I would say, a lot of downforce around this track. And if you don't have downforce, if you lose a bit of your front wing, you're going to be in trouble. But if you get minor damage to your front wing, I've noticed around here it's not too bad. I would say around about, the 20% mark, you can just stay out and you don't have to worry about pitting, and you can just, that's what I've coped with. But again, it does depend on your driving style, as Gavin has picked himself a 3-second time penalty. So we've got 2 drivers on time penalties at the moment. It may come back to bite them towards the end of this race. Iceman is starting to catch up to Glock ever so slightly, but Glock is pulling away by 1.5 seconds over Iceman, and around 2.5 seconds over Kyle. Probably 2 seconds actually. I've done my maths completely wrong, so I do apologise about that. As a bit of a warning light for Kyle there, but he wants to push early on, and I would say when he pits for his stop, I assume he would probably want to save his tyres and fuel a little bit, and hoping that no one else will get past him, and then towards the end he could probably push again. That's what I would do anyway. Not much overtaking happening at the moment, but here is Mata on Yuri past the tunnel section. We're starting to see a train start to form here too. We are coming past the people who have pitted early on. Mata for strategic purposes, but he's still in 9th position due to other people making mistakes. That was a very tight run there. Yellow flag, that is risky. Let me have a look. Yeah, that was it might be risky, or it might be someone else, I don't know. But he is struggling ever so slightly. So yeah, he comes into the pit, so it probably was risky, that. Unfortunate. Meanwhile, Pete dives it around the inside of Mata. Past Sandevot there. Probably just after that, actually, in casino section. And I do apologise that I missed that battle, but, you know. And I think there's a little bit of a love tap between Pete and Mata there, heading past Melbourne into Portier now. But hopefully there's no damage, but we'll see. I can see Pete is taking a lot of risk right now, so let's see Is Pete going to dive to the left or the right? He may go a cheeky dive around the inside. He almost had a look there. Can he get maybe a possible move in heading towards to back? Now swimming pool once again. Ooh! Jesus Christ, that gave me a heart attack there between these guys, but I'm sure one of them may need to pit again. Nope, no. If it was damage, it probably was mine. I didn't see any front wings flying out at the moment. This is giving up some very good entertainment as they head towards turn 1. Pete is 2 tenths behind Yuri at the moment. We also got Kara on the back of Iceman, 6 tenths. I'll keep an eye on the gap as the race unfolds as well. Mata and Red Mat is still in this fight. Mata, I think, has gained the most out of everybody in this Grand Prix so far. Red Mat started 17th and he's all the way up into 11th right now. And he still has one more stop to make. So technically he's on the same strategy as everybody else now. So in a way, this has worked out very, very nicely for one of the admins of this league. So Pete, right on the gearbox of Yuri. This could be the chance where he definitely could go for the move this time. Very, very tight. And if you don't get this right, then it could cost you as well. Bit of a front wing flying, or it might be some M-Play. I'm not entirely sure, but Pete gets the move done. Up into 8th position. Mata up into 9th. So it might have been Yuri's front wing flying somewhere because he's dropped a few positions from that contact. As Glock goes into the pits for his first stop. Yeah, it is his first stop because he's one of the other ones that's doing the 2-stop. My bad. And Glock stays in 5th position, so not too bad, and he's not that far behind. So he's going to have a very comfortable gap in the lead right now. So maybe the undercut for the 2 stops has probably worked wonders for him. As Mata goes into the pits for an unplanned stop. I think it was definitely for damage this time. Yuri also comes in as well. So even though only 3 people will have to do 2 stops, I wouldn't be surprised if almost everybody does 2 stops or more. Because that is the nature around this track. Usually sometimes there was one race last year in around October time where it was a 1 stop, but I ended up doing 2. So if anyone does 1, then they are a lifesaver. Now Iceman, I wonder if Iceman's going for the undercut here. He is. I need to actually double check if Iceman's doing the 2-stop. I might have glossed over that, but I think he might be. Nope, he's not. Mata's doing the 2-stop. So I think that's why he pitted with Red Mat. But Iceman, he's on the mediums. Now the mediums, I'm just having a look at the strategies. I think he can pit now. Yes, you can. And it's slightly early, a lap early actually. So he's going for the undercut. He is just behind Newgarden, and that's not what he wants. He wanted some clear air from the guys behind. So that's going to allow the likes of Glotz to really stretch out that advantage up front. And I wonder what Kyle and Brandon will be thinking right now. Will they be thinking about pitting to respond to Iceman? They don't need to worry about Glock because Glock will need to pit one more time. They're going to hope for no safety cars. Because the safety car can definitely change the outcome of this race. As Red Mat picks himself a 3-second time. And I think Brandon goes into the pits. Well, they both had to respond to that, didn't they? Carl comes out of the pits. His pit stop was quite early. Well, the pit box actually. So where's Iceman? Iceman needs to get past Newgarden right here and right now. Otherwise the undercut will not work. It's going to be very, very close. Iceman just gets ahead of Kyle there into the pit stops. But you can see Kyle going side by side with Newgarden past Sandevort and heading towards the casino section. Kyle gets the job done. What a move for him up into P3. On the fresher tyres, it really does help you. The guys on the mediums, they won't be pitting until around about lap 24, 25 for the soft compounded tyres. I do see quite a few debris as well, so I wonder if a few more people have gone into the pits. We've got Ryan Berry's in and M. Ryan as well, who's just picked up front wing damage. So he's changing his front wing there. And Gavin also pitted recently as well. So look at the gap between Glock and Kyle and Iceman as well. 7.1 seconds. If he could carry on stretching up this gap, he's still going to come out in the lead anyway on this final stop. So I'm just looking at the pit lane loss around this circuit. I can't remember on the top of my head what the pit lane loss is. I'll need to double check with my notes, but that's something I forgot to put down. Meanwhile, P is in the pits again. Is that damage or is it a strategic stop again? We'll see. It is damage, so I won't be surprised if more pit stops will be made for some of these guys. That's Pete's second stop. Newgarden and Acorn are the only two drivers yet to make their first stops as well, so they are the ones that have been doing very well in terms of the medium tires. They'll be stretching out a little bit more. So if they pit any time from now till lap 24.5, then we know it's for damage and not a strategic stop. So we'll look at the positions gained as well. Glock has gained 1 place. Red Matt's gained 11 positions and Ryan Berry has gained 1. Niels, Kev and Kyle stayed exactly as they are. But Niels and Kev will jump up as soon as Newgarden and Acorn make their first stops. Or their first and early stop, I should say. I would expect they will be going onto the soft tyres unless they feel like the mediums are not too good. They'll probably go onto the hards, potentially. As, speaking of Acorn, he goes into the pits. So I wonder if he's going onto the hards or if it's damage. He could be going onto the hards anyway, so just so he doesn't have to stop again. And it is front wing damage, and he does go onto the hards. So there we go. So it really is going to be who gets the least damage around in, who has to make the least pit stops. Maybe the ones that get decent points here today. And you can really start to see Brandon closing in on Red Matt as well. Gavin, no, I believe is lapped already. So Gavin is not having the best of times in Monaco, but he's showing that you can't give up in league racing, because you know you may get someone who retires by being on the track, and then that's a free position for you. That's what benefited me. That's why I only give up in league racing if I retire due to a mistake in my, as in I have no choice but to retire, as in I hit the wall. Even if I'm like a few laps down, I always stay in, because you know there could be someone that has a much worse race than me, and you know we'll see what happens. Luckily, ghosting's off for lapped cars, so Red Matt could breeze past Gavin there, and also Brandon and Red Matt actually as well. The gap's increased by a second up front, 8.1 seconds. We're on lap 14 already. Time does definitely fly by when you're having fun here. An interesting stat about podium cities actually as well. 82 different drivers that stood on the Monaco Grand Prix podium over the past 70 years. Ayrton Senna took the most top 3 finishes, which was 8 of them in total. And 7 times they finished in the top 3 were Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. And I believe they're going to Monaco this year. I really do hope they do. And I hope it's a little bit more exciting than previous years, because there's some real life race in Monaco where it's more of a procession, but if they win in Monaco, then it's very, very good. I know when any of the Red Bull drivers win in Monaco, they just go celebrate in the pool. I think most people would go and celebrate in the pool. I would, to be fair, if I was racing there in real life, but that'll probably never happen, because I would rather not race in real life, because I'm not as talented as most of the drivers out there, of course. And plus I'm a bit old to start a motorsport career, obviously. So, you know, obviously they're thinking about more of the younger driver program. And yeah, there's pretty much no one within that 1 second gap. No one's in DRS. Gavin's pit once more. So there is not much happening there. Now, I do believe, I'm actually quite surprised there's been no VSL safety car yet. So fair play to the drivers, but you never know. I could have probably jinxed myself there, and the drivers have probably might get one soon. But looking at the ERS management of the drivers today, some of them up front are doing very well, like Kyle, for example, on around about 65%. Iceman, on, however, is pushing quite a lot. He's using a lot of his ERS. He's on about 8% right now. Glock's on 19. Newgarden is on 17. Brandon's been really pushing. He wants to get past Newgarden as quick as he can. Brandon's probably thinking to himself, oi, I'm on the new tyres. I should get past. And you can see behind that Newgarden's running out of verse 2, so they're going to be on an even playing field as well. Neil's doing not too bad on the ERS, 30% roughly. Kev is on 10. Red Matt's on 35. Matt's on 33. Pete's on 10 as well. Akon's on 10. I think most people between around about 30 to 10% mark, with the exception of Kyle. But since Kyle is not being involved in the battles much, what's the point of using as much ERS? But you've got to push. Maybe use ERS in the tunnel, really, but then you could use your overtake potentially once you're closing up to someone. I think what Kyle is concentrating on is the fuel. Eventually, Brandon gets past Newgarden up into 4th place. I wonder if Red Matt is going to have the same issues at the moment as we head towards Raskas. Heading towards the final corner then. And we're going to start to see whether it's going to be the ERS that is going to be the advantage, or the pure pace of these drivers. Or it may just come down to the tyres. Sometimes you may be under too much pressure, and that might cause you to make a mistake. And Monaco is a track where you're going to need a lot of pressure. And sometimes that's what cost me a few positions in some races, because there's some races where I just make mistake after mistake after mistake, and you know, it just gets to you, and it's how you come back from it. That's what the drivers have got to think about when they race around here, is don't let the negative mindset get you down. Just focus on the rest of the race. Just forget. If they pit for damage, for example, just forget about that part of the race. That's over. You can't really change what has happened. You just focus on and the rest of the race and see if you could salvage any points, or maybe even faster that, because don't forget, wherever you are in the grid, it doesn't matter where you are. Oh, we've got a safety car. Or is it a VSC? Oh, safety car! Safety car! Oh, that is going to be very good. Red Matt has timed it very well. He's just like, thank you very much. He could take one of his stops there. And the pit lane loss is significantly less compared to, obviously, when you pit in the normal racing conditions. So Matt has already done his 2 stops anyway. And so has, I can't remember who else was doing the 2 stop. Glock. I think, actually, no, Glock just missed it. Glock just missed the pits, but luckily he's got a good gap out in front. He could still come out in front, I don't know. But the safety car is not directly in front, so that probably breathes a sigh of relief for him. So he's going to go in now, which he does. Will Iceman follow him in? It's too early to go onto the soft, so if you don't have to make a stop, there's no point in you coming in. Stay out. But if you've got damage, or if you've got a stop and go penalty to serve it in the pits. Get your damage repaired in the pits, and then you're on a clean slate. You don't need to worry about it, and then you can focus on the rest of the race. So that's why Iceman's in the lead. Kyle second. Glock will be third, as Newgarden goes to the pits as well, because he hasn't made his first stop yet. I think he would have rather have gone for the soft tyres, but actually he's going for the softs. That is, I would say, a bit of a risk, because the softs, but it does depend on how long the safety car lasts for. Newgarden's probably thinking there's going to be more safety cars. Softs only last 13 laps, and there's more than 13 laps to go of this Grand Prix. There's around about 20. So 21 to be exact, I think, if I've done my maths correct. And it's around about, I'm just looking at the lap times, it's around about a 1 minute 13 lap time. Times that by 20, that's oh, Risky's been disqualified from the session from ignoring yellow flags. Well, that's a very harsh penalty. Unless he, like, sped massively or something, like, twice. But that is very weird. Or did he overtake and sped? That is not good for Team Blue, I have to say. So, obviously, a disqualification is worse than a DNF. So, that is our first retiree, if you like, of this Grand Prix as Gavin goes into the pits. He is going to be lapped, though. So, unfortunately, on this game, lapped cars are not allowed to unlap themselves, which, in my opinion, is a bit stupid because when there's a safety car and you're lapped already, you're pretty much out of the game. And if everyone else is not lapped, then you're just basically racing your own race. So, you just got to hope some bad things happen to the drivers, other drivers. So, I need to actually check, how many safety cars have been called around Monaco. I don't even know, to be honest. I did write some notes for this Grand Prix and it didn't say how many safety cars there's been. I just don't know. I really don't know. But I think in league racing, I have to say, you're pretty much guaranteed a safety car around Monaco. You've got to prepare for a safety car around Monaco. If any Monaco race does not have a safety car, then it's either probably a lot of the drivers have probably practiced a lot, or they're just it's not enough damage, for example, to warrant a safety car. So, and let us know in the chat as well. Do you think there's gonna be another safety car? And if so, is it just gonna be one more? Or how many there's going to be? Or is it just going to be only one? This one? Let us know in the chat. Big shout out to everybody that is watching the stream so far. And if you're liking this stream and all of our other videos that we have on this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And also turn notifications on so you know when to tune in to us. We stream every Wednesday night from 8 PM. You can also give us a like on this video as well. And follow us on Twitter. We are at VSL_F1. It'll be really appreciated if we can get our follower count up. That'll be very nice, won't it? Now, after Monaco, we still got 4 more rounds to go. And 4 of them are absolute classics, I have to say. We've got Canada next week. We've got Australia the week after. Then we've got Bahrain. And then Bahrain short to wrap up the season. So the season has pretty much flown by, really, to be honest. And I do not want it to. And maybe, potentially for some people, this race could decide on whether either your team is in a championship fight or whether you are in a championship fight yourself or whether you're not. So if you don't get a good result today and you're not closing up enough to the top guys, then you could probably kiss your championship hopes goodbye, really. But we will see, of course. And I'm just seeing when the safety car is coming in. So the safety car light is still on. I think I'm waiting for a few more drivers to potentially catch up. So there we go. Safety car is in this lap. It's like I've had good timing there. But anyway, we are about to get started once again. Green flag race will be commencing very, very shortly. Iceman is your de facto safety car, and it didn't take him too long to get underway. He wanted to get underway very, very quickly. Great start, but let's see what Carl could do heading towards turn 1. Could he get the advantage he needs to probably overtake him? Gavin is out of the race. He's probably given up, which is fair enough. We might have binned it himself. We do not know. No, he may have retired in the pit lane, but we see someone going side by side there. Oh, that's Red Matt. And what was it? New Garden? I'm not entirely sure, but it was a little bit of side by side action. There's certain places on the track where if you make an overtake through there, it's going to be very, very skillful to say the least. But that was a risk, and sometimes if the risks do not pay off, it will come back to bite you there. But that is a bit of a shame now. Will Red Matt have to pit once again, or will he have to suffer from the damage that he's already have? Right, now I don't think the damage is too bad, but he's already... Oh, someone spun. That's Brandon. That's Brandon that's had a little bit of a spin, and Newgarden was like, thank you very much. I could get that position back, thank you. Tony's already a lap down anyway, but he's still here. And and as you can see, Tony is trying to unlap himself, which is easier said than done. Oh! As Brandon hits Newgarden, and I don't think Brandon is sliding all over the place. He doesn't. And Red Matt, unsurprisingly, goes in the pit lane, pit for his damage. He goes on to the soft tyres. Another set of the softs, actually. I wonder if he's using a used set. I don't think he is, though. So he's probably very relieved that he still has a clean set of softs to handy in the pit garage. So at least the pit crew were prepared, but I don't think that they wanted him to pit again. But anyway, Iceman still leads. Carl second, Glock in third. Everyone that was meant to make mandatory 2-stop has made their mandatory 2-stop. As Niels has dropped position for Newgarden. We're seeing quite a bit of mistakes in the tunnel section. I think more people taking risks now, because I think a few people are like, you know what, there's nothing else to lose. DRS is activated then, ladies and gentlemen, so this is where we can see a few more risks. Oh my goodness. I think Brandon's picked up more damage there, so another trip to the pits for him. And Pete's in as well. Oh, Pete's day just could not get any worse, to be honest. How many pit stops are they on now? Let me just have a look. So Pete's got on the most with 3. And Brandon's on 3 as well. Red Matt's on 3. But it's not the most compared to Gavin. Gavin's on 7. Matta, meanwhile, just got past Niels up into 5th place. Who said you can't overtake in Monaco? There was a clip posted earlier on of him doing exactly the same in another league, which I've got to say was a very good move, I have to say. He likes Monaco, even though he's already pitted like 3 times already. But if he climbs up a few positions, then he could be one of the early contenders potentially for driver of the day. Meanwhile, Glock's still catching ever so slightly. Tony's been disqualified for the wrong way, so he must have binned it somewhat, but ignore him at the moment. We've still got some battles to follow. And Tony has left the session in disgust. He was not happy with that whatsoever. And he's got chances to fight back as Red Matt's out the race. Red Matt's out the race, and we got another safety car. I'm just seeing where oh, yeah, that's definitely going to be another safety car. Yep, it is. He binned it at the most awkward position. And, yeah, very, very disappointing for him. But this will give a lot of people to get back in this race. And whoever predicted another safety car, then you were correct. For now. Because there could be one more. The drive, I think, around on the 50% race, there are 5 safety car slots, and these do include VSCs as well. So we're on the second one at the moment, so there's potential of 3 more. So do you think we will head that? And there was a few guys in the chat speaking about the DNFs, and I think a few people saying Tony's disqualification was very unfortunate. I want to actually see what happened and how we got that. Because it said on our screen he went the wrong way, but did he bin it or did he just... I don't know. Well, he obviously binned it, because otherwise why would he have gone the wrong way? But there we go. Is anyone going to go for the soft tyres? Brandon has gone for the softs. And Ryan, because you can go on the softs now, they will make it. And Ryan goes for the mediums by the looks of things, on the mediums he used earlier on in the race. Niels is on the mediums too. Yuri's on the softs. So we have got a mixture of tyre strategies here today for the rest of this race. Now, they've got to be careful to not cross the pit lane exit line, which they're not, which is good to see, because if they do, they will get a penalty from the game if they do it, like, twice or something like that. But anyway, 1 second is, well, 1 second obviously is the gap, because we're in under safety car conditions, but it's not that long to go until the end now. And we're still in for some fantastic action. Watch this space. Don't you dare switch off the YouTube stream. Just keep it in the background if you're busy or something. And you should be able to see some potential very good overtakes. We're down to 13 drivers. And like I said, if you just keep it on the road, you're more than likely going to get points. And it only takes now 1 retirement and you get points now. So basically, that'll be very rewarding for drivers that have not scored many points this season. Sometimes when drivers get points, they're like, they're on top of the world, really, to be honest. They're like, yay, I've got points for like the first time in a while. But, you know, anything can happen, of course. And I was wondering what just almost fell on the floor, but nothing fell on the floor. I think something just slipped a little bit there, but that's all right there. So I wonder when the safety car is going to be coming in. We're just going to be waiting for Yuri, I think, to catch up to it, because Akon, unfortunately, is lapped. So I think it allows for people that were going to be lapped very shortly not be lapped, which is always a good sign. And due to these cool temperatures, with every safety car period, the chances are, if you don't warm up your tyres, mistakes really happen. You probably end up going into a spin many times. It's happened to me in my team quite a lot as well. The amount of flashbacks I have done in my team around Monaco is insane. I wonder how many flashbacks people have done around Monaco. In a league race, you only get 1 chance. If you bin it, then that's it. In my team, you get like multiple chances, but yeah. But to be honest, Monaco only did a 25% race. Imagine how many flashbacks I would have done if I changed it to 50%. We will see. We will see. I think the safety car will be coming in this lap, I think, because Yuri's not that far behind now. So be prepared for 11 laps of green flag racing, which will probably fly by very, very quickly. So the drivers have got to be on their A game towards the end of this race now. And if they don't get their act together, then they'll kiss their chances of scoring a decent result goodbye. Now, we'll look at positions gained now, because nobody will have to stop. So we'll look from top to bottom. So Iceman starting on pole position. He's staying there in P1. Kyle has gained 1. Glock has dropped 1. Newgarden, I would say, biggest gainer so far, as well as Ryanberry. They've both gained 8 positions. Matt has gained 1. Kev's gained 3. Obviously, I talked about Ryanberry already. Pete, unfortunately, has dropped down 3, which is not too bad. He's still back in his race. I think he was probably relieved that the safety car has come out. And speaking of the safety car comes in, so I'll briefly talk about the gains. Ryan has gained 2. Akon, even though he's a lap down, has gained 1. So here we go then. We are about to go green flag racing here at Monaco. We're still under the lights. And Iceman has got to get the start nailed perfectly once again. He's probably used to it by now. And probably the other drivers behind him are used to him as well. So we're going to go green flag racing. Now, much better restart from Iceman this time. Matter and Hugo going side by side. Matter with a brilliant moving Sandoval up into 4th place. What does it look like for everybody else as well? More time penalties as well for the drivers. And we're seeing as well Brandon and Niels potentially going for a move as well. Niels is on AI, unfortunately. So, but that's not going to make things even harder. I think Niels is probably gone for a quick drink or something, because he probably not realised that the safety car has already come in. So hopefully he'll join back shortly. Here comes Brandon in side by side into Mirabeau, heading towards near the tunnel. And what a fantastic move from Brandon there. He did not hold off at all. So Brandon's up into 10th position. Can he catch up to Emrine now? That's going to be the crucial factor as well. Iceman has stretched the gap now to Carl to 7/10 of a second, which is great to see. DRS not enabled yet, but once it is, even though there's one, that could be the deciding factor potentially as well. It's hard to track to see if anyone has got any damage in the lap, but we still see someone that's very close. Pete, unfortunately, goes into the pits once again. So that's for another pit stop. But on the other hand, Glock has found some pace on Kyle. And the race win for Glock is definitely not over, actually. Kyle trying to see where Glock may not go. And he's going to plant the car there, maybe. So Glock can't go there. He's going to try and defend for his life here for these last 10 laps. And you can see the boat as well on the water. A lot of spectators will be watching in anticipation here tonight. And looking at Glock's livery, you always think there's damage, but there's not. It's just the way that he designed his livery. But anyway, Matter, I thought he was going to go for an overtake there, but that is a ghost car of Akon, I believe. Meanwhile, Brandon has had a bit of an off there just past the tunnel section of the Nouvelle chicane. So he's down into 11th position. And oh, that is not good at all. And he's given up. And is there going to be another safety car? Yes, there is. Oh, God. I'm turning away from his camera in a second. I think probably people are going to be sick of safety cars right now. But, yeah, that was a very awful crash. So that's him out of the race. So if you're still in this race, you're getting points now. And that's going to be music to Acorns here. All you need to do is just keep it on the road, and then you'll be back in this race. So I am probably, Acorn was going to give up at this point, but seeing, oh no, it's not a safety car, it's a VSC. Okay, I thought it was a safety car, but there's not. It was a VSC, but it's strange that a VSC was called and not a safety car, but there we go, it happens. So we've now had 2 safety cars and 1 VSC, so 2 more to go. As Glock picked up his first, is it his first 3-second time penalty? Yeah, it is his first 3-second time penalty. So that unfortunately has hindered him there. So that's going to allow, no matter what happens, I think Carl's picked up a 5-second penalty as well. I thought he would have served it earlier on, unless he got it like during the potential safety car period, but... And Carl's used a lot of his ERS already. Oh, my word. So if he wants to challenge for the win and try and defend from the cars behind, he's going to find it even trickier to manage his ERS now, because where on earth are you going to save your ERS? So I think Carl has probably shoot himself up in the third. Glock's doing very well on his ERS. 67% on his battery. Matter 45%. And we're seeing the two red cars are doing very well, actually, in 6th and 7th. Kev, again, I've been saying he's been under the radar for the whole of this race. He's been keeping it. How many? Has he only made 1 stop? I think he's only made 1 stop. Nope, he's made 2, because he obviously pitted on the safety car. But he's kept his nose clean throughout. He's got no penalties as well. Ryan Berry has also picked up no penalties. So these two are definitely going to jump up the order quite a lot here. And that's probably not going to help some people. But it's going to help these two, for definite. Iceman, Kev, Brianberry and Neil's the only 4 drivers out of the ones still racing to not pick up any single penalties there. Maybe on some warnings, but Akel's in the pits as well for another stop. I believe he wants to go for fastest lap, which he is. He has picked up damage in the process anyway. I think that's what Akon is fighting for, because he's going to get a point for finishing in 12th anyway, but if he gets fastest lap, then he'll get 2 extra points, and that could really help him. Akon at the moment is currently sitting in 8th in the standings, and could jump him up just a little bit ahead of Bankai, who's now left the league. He could be potentially as well. So that could be very, very good. So we're starting to see a train form once again between Iceman, Kyle, Glock and Mata. But the position at the end of the race will depend on how many penalties a driver has got. So I will have a look at the penalties once again for you, except Kyle. So Kyle will jump down to 4th. Glock will go to 2nd. Mata will go to 3rd. And fair play to the ones who have got no penalties so far. And for some of these drivers already, including the ones near the back especially, for them it's going to be about damage limitation until the end of this race. Because if they end up just steering the wheel from frustration from earlier on, then their mindset can really affect their driving style for the rest of the race. So again, like I said earlier, concentrate on the rest of the race and just stay calm, and it could really help you at the moment. And Ryan doing very well as well, up into 8th position, doing fantastic. And even if Yuri gets past him, which I don't think he will, but if Yuri could get past him, which is, he's catching though, Yuri 1.8, so you never know, he could. But I don't think, if Ryan sees Yuri, I don't think he'll be challenging very much because of the train in front of him. So but anyway, Mata and Glock were having a little bit of a fight there into Raskas. Mata up into 3rd. Glock, I believe, picked up another 3-second time penalty, so Newgarden will actually gain a position from that as well. What corner did he pick it up? Did he pick it up in the tunnel, or did he pick it up in the final corner? But I did not see that pop up on my screen, so I must have looked at something else, and you know. But anyway, not long to go until the end of this race, and we're going to see who is the creme de la creme. Iceman's looking the favourite at the moment, but there's a lot of drivers that definitely want to take the win on track. And they're going to try and not make a single mistake here. And I don't know how the drivers are not avoiding the walls here, because it's very high speed around here as well. But we shall see what happens. The spectators are waiting in anticipation. Remember, 1992, don't forget. Senna versus Mansell. The ones on the fresher tyres, they found it so difficult to get past the ones on the older tyres. This is a similar situation here. Iceman and Kyle, they're on the older tyres. Mata, Glock and Newgarden, they're on the newer tyres. Even though Newgarden did pit quite early for softs, but he did benefit from 2 safety cars and 1 VSC. So he could potentially still make it to the end, but I wonder if his tyres are shot. And you can see Kevin Ryanberry all over him. Same with Ryan as well. So I potentially think it could be over for Newgarden, but he must be doing something to try and save his tyres, because just imagine he'll probably be on like 79% or something, and like he could be like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, he could be on 79%, and then it's fine, but for some drivers, they'll be on 79% and boom, punches. So, again, it depends on the way it happens. As Carl has picked up a 3-second time penalty. So he's on 8 seconds. So, yeah, it's going to change things drastically. But, yeah, that means Kevin and Ryan will jump. No, they won't jump way up because the gap between Kevin and Newgarden is around about... actually, could still happen. But the gap between Newgarden and everybody else is about 13.5 seconds. So, it's going to be tough to find 13 seconds in, I would say, 2 laps. So, I think the positions for the top 4 will potentially be decided. But for everybody else, watch for the positions to change drastically. Peter's got the fastest lap so far. He's made the most pit stops out of everybody still in this race. Out of the ones that have retired, Gavin has made the most pit stops with 7. Hopefully nobody makes any more pit stops. We got Kyle, Iceman, Newgarden. They are the only drivers out of all the ones still running to have only made 1 pit stop. Fair play to them. Fair play to them. They've been the cleanest drivers out of everybody so far. And I think all of them pitted under safety cars. So, as Niels goes and makes... Oh! What's happened to Yuri there? Did Yuri bin it by himself or... I don't know. So, I was... Unfortunately, that's a very... Oh, that's an example of a commentator's curse, isn't it? I said I hope there wasn't going to be any more pit stops. And look what happened. You shouldn't really say anything more. I think I should just shut up for the rest of the commentary and just let everybody race. But that'll be quite boring. But anyway, at least Yuri could potentially still go for fastest lap. But he's going to potentially be a lap down shortly. Anyway, Glock gets past Mata. Or was Mata ahead in the tunnel and then... Did they go for a move? I'm not entirely sure, but... Oh! Glock's got wing damage. It's starting to fall apart for Glock. He has to keep going now because he's going to lose more time if he pits. So, he's going to try and limp the car home. I don't think the damage is too bad anyway. But it may hinder his chance of a potential podium. But we'll see on the final lap. Kyle versus Iceman on track. We know Kyle won't get it due to penalties, but that doesn't mean they can't fight for it, because I know Carl is a very good racer and he wants to fight for every position and get rid of the deficit that he's had. A lot of rubbers on the track at the moment. This has been a really fantastic race to say the least. When we go to Monaco, it's always been very, very exciting. I don't think Carl is fighting Iceman for this win. I don't think you would anyway, because otherwise if you do fight too much, you could end up in a lot of disasters. So, Iceman started on pole. Not many people have taken pole and converted it to a race victory here this season. Well, Iceman is going to prove everybody wrong. Pass into the Rascas section, heading towards the final corner. He wins in Monaco, no penalties to his name. The fireworks go off, absolutely fantastic stuff. Due to penalties, Mata comes across the line in second. Glot in third, Calm is down on the podium unfortunately by 0.4 of a second. Newgarden in 5th position, Kev and Ryan are going to be 6th and 7th respectively, so great job for them. And even if they get actually third, they'll be 5th and 6th actually due to Newgarden's penalty. Yes, they will. So Newgarden's dropped to 8th. Niels, P7. Not bad. Fantastic result for him. M9 in 9th. Pete in 10th. I believe he will get fastest lap point. Yes, actually 2 fastest lap points, unless Yuri or Akon has something to say about it. So Yuri is heading towards the final few corners now. And does he get the fastest lap away from Pete? No, he does not. What about Akon? No. But fair play to Newgarden for making his soft tyres last for a very long time. So, well done to him. So let's see who the driver of the day is in game. It actually goes to Ryan Barry. And to be honest, he's had a solid race. So fair play to him. Well done. But the real star of today's show is Iceman. I believe it's his first win of the season, you know. Yeah, it is, because he's 11th in the standings. He's going to jump right up after tonight to the top half of the standings, as in the left half. But he's super delighted. And that's really going to help him for the seasons to come. Another win for Team Yellow. That's going to really... I think Team Yellow are going to have the most to lose in this situation if they don't win the championship. Because Yellow have been leading the Constructors' Championship by quite some way for majority of the season. So anyway, let's get your results in. So Iceman wins for Mata in second, Glock in third, Kyle in fourth, Kev in fifth position, Ryan Berry in sixth, Niels in seventh, New Garden in eighth, Emran in ninth, and Pete in 10th. Yuri in 11th, and Akon are your final points paying positions and finishers. Your retirements are Brandon, Red Matt, Tony, Gavin, and Risky. Gavin and Risky. Actually, no. Did Gavin get disqualified as well? Well, it's classed as DNS, but Tony and Risky did get disqualified. But anyway, that has been the Monaco Grand Prix. Make sure you tune in next week as we head to Canada. I love Canada to commentate on, so that should be a blast. But do remember, Canada is definitely a track which rewards people keeping it clean as well, because a lot of penalties could be gained here. I think most and majority of tracks on the calendar, I would say USA as well, but USA was a preseason race, so that doesn't really count. But Canada could be another crack of a race, so make sure you stay tuned. Same time next week at 8 PM UK time on this very channel. Make sure you click the subscribe button, turn notifications on, and like this video, whether you're watching this back or watching it live. I've been JessGames95. Have a good evening. See you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. Have a good evening and goodbye.